Hi, Razvan.
Hi there, Ziba.
Thank you so much for accepting my invitation to participate in this episode. I have a feeling that it's going to be very interesting.
Thank you.
So, can you please, at the beginning, introduce yourself and tell us more about your background? What do you do for a living?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So my name is Razvan. I'm from Romania. I'm currently living in Bucharest, and I'm a game developer for about 16 years. And also I'm a studio director right now at Logic Studios.
Wow, 16 years of
Yeah.
experience. Wow, you started this when it was not popular, when it wasn't the mainstream, when maybe the majority of people didn't even know. Because I remember that back in the days, anyone who knew how to code, we used to look at them like, wow, that
Yeah.
person must be having a square head in order to fit all the brain inside, because they
Yes,
must be having a bigger
sometimes
brain.
it does look like magic, yeah.
Tell me, please, how old were you? 15, 16 when you started?
15, 16, yeah.
How did you even find out about it? Like, what made you think that I want to be a developer?
Back around in mid-2000s, we played games from CDs. We had these magazines called Level.
Okay.
They were giving us CDs with demos on them, and I found my love for gaming. And then I started thinking, like, why can't I do this? And I started, back then YouTube was like something really, really small.
Just started, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you had to dig like deep to find information about how to make games, how to learn programming for games, how to
So
make
you're
assets.
a self-learner.
Yeah. Most part of
Rizwan,
my...
this is so impressive for a 15,
Thank you.
16 years old kid to identify his main interest and then to start looking for the source of information in order to develop it. I'm talking about something that was 15 years ago when people were not adapted and were not even maybe thinking that technology will evolve to that extent, you know?
Yeah, nobody ever thought like 15 years ago that the entertainment industry would be ever this big and even this accessible.
Tell me, how many hours you used to spend in game clubs?
In net cafes and things like that, like I would be maybe 14, 15 hours a day.
14, 15 hours a day.
Yeah, I used to love gaming.
How did you find money for that? Because, like, let's admit, 15 years ago, our parents were not so generous giving you a pocket cash money. Like, they would give you a transportation money. You know, go, come back, make sure you're safe.
Yeah, usually the transportation money I would pocket.
You would save up?
Yeah, and walk to school and back. Yeah.
That's a dedication. That's very amazing. And like, were you spending 14, 15 hours because you were so passionate to play, or you wanted to know how far you can go and what's going in the next level? Like, what was the whole passion about?
I firstly at the beginning, I enjoyed playing because it would bring me out of reality into that universe, that world.
Yes.
Then I started asking myself how would this work if I did it, and then I started looking at things like, if this works in a certain way, what makes it tick, what makes it work. And I started digging, like inventing different gameplay loops or different mechanics.
How old were you when you developed your first game?
My first game, I wouldn't call it a game, was actually a game jam. I was about 18 years old. And I found on the internet they were doing game jams, like different small competitions where in 24 hours you need to make a game jam. So I made like a hidden object game. Didn't win anything, but the experience was really nice.
Was great, right? It was the first time you actually put all the knowledge that you gathered into something, right?
Exactly.
Were you proud of it? Was the result satisfying for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was a really big and important moment in my life when I realized I wanted to do this for the rest of my life, because it gave me like the accomplishment myself, and I if I can do this, I can do anything.
I feel so proud of you. Really, that's so cool. That's so interesting. That inspires a lot. that inspires a lot, and it leads the message, you know. When you want to achieve something, it does not matter whether you have the, how can I tell you, the rest is just an excuse. And you're the clear representation of a person that doesn't believe in excuses.
Yeah, you need to keep,
Like, come on, 15 years ago.
Keep
You're
on keeping
saying
on.
that I started digging into YouTube to find the right materials that I can use to learn. Like, look, back then you didn't know which material is the correct one, which one is the latest one. Maybe
Yeah.
like things changed over time, and let's say you're wasting time learning something that has been improved already. And nevertheless, you reach the result. Like, honestly,
the gaming industry did evolve quite a bit from back then.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot.
YouTube wasn't really returning any successes.
No.
But you did have to like scour the internet, like Stack Overflow. Maybe you would find like a script somewhere referring
Yeah.
to something that you would do.
What
But
type of games you used to play? What was your favorite game?
I actually really enjoyed the Command and Conquer.
Was it a strategy
Yeah,
game?
it's a strategy game, yeah, and the Red Alert games. Then I got into StarCraft for a little bit.
Okay.
I always found them like really interesting to do. When I got into university, we were like making LAN parties, and we were all playing StarCraft for like a whole weekend, 48 hours, and going to class on Monday, like really, really, really tired.
But happy.
Yeah, but happy.
But very happy.
Yeah.
That's
with
a lie.
crappy laptops and.
Don't you think that back in the year the life was way better? We used to
A
get
little
happy
bit, yeah.
and excited over small things, right?
Well, depends how you look at it. It was more simple, yeah.
Yeah.
You did things for fun, and you wouldn't feel guilty for having that fun.
I miss those days.
Yeah,
I
being a
miss
kid
this
is nice.
timing when, you know, at 9 o'clock it was a movie time. And you had to track the newspaper to know at what time which movie. Then we used to circle it. Like, that itself, it used to add so much coziness in everything you do.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like now we're very spoiled with all this accessibility and availability, which at the same time gives a lot of opportunities, which maybe we didn't have back in the years, you know?
That is true, yeah. The gaming industry has reached, still hasn't reached its full potential, but people now can start game developing and becoming a programmer. Actually, a game developer much easier. All the software is streamlined for beginners. Everything is like really not really that easy, but friendly to beginners.
How big you dream when you dream about your career?
Big enough.
Where you wanna be? Anything. The sky is the limit.
Yeah, the sky is the limit. Well,
Where you want to be? Maybe you want to have your biggest studio that is developing some sort. Like, where you want?
I don't necessarily think about it in terms of big or small. I think about it in terms if I can change the perspective on how players look at games as a whole experience. If I can impact their lives through my creations, my games, that's enough for me.
Where do you get the inspiration, creativity, ideas to develop a new game?
Inspiration is all around us. You just need to look at it from a certain point of view. You can find inspiration like literally all around us. You can do a game like, take these chairs behind me, for example. You can have a small mobile game with, office workers racing around the table on a conference room.
I feel like you are observing the world from a completely different perspective
You can say that, yeah.
Than me or many other people, right? Like, everything you look at in your head, you're like, how can I use it, what I can make out of it?
Yeah.
It's so cool. Tell me, please, one thing. What was the most favorite game that you have ever developed, or the most successful one?
I think the most successful game that I worked on was back in 2013. I was living in the US right then, and I worked at Deadsiders 2.
Okay.
It's a AAA game that I think made me even more want to become a game developer and own my own studio, because I saw the nicks and crannies of how it works, and I experienced it at first hand what doesn't work and what works in the game developing studio.
Can you develop any game?
With the current technology, yes, probably.
Is the games that you don't even want to do? Like, I don't know, like, all this dress a Barbie, things like that. Would you ever take a project like that? Or you like more complex,
Most
strategic,
probably
more of
won't do
no,
a Barbie
right?
game. Yeah. The more complex, the more we want to do. Me and my team want to do it. Makes us want more from it and makes us more creative. Like
Basically, you are challenging yourself by
I said, yeah,
taking the
always,
harder
always,
projects.
absolutely, always.
How many people you have in your team?
Currently, we have 12 people.
Tell me, please, how was it hard to find the right people, or you were lucky enough to get them?
I can't say that it was a bit hard. Yeah, sure, but I was lucky to find the best game developers I can work with. They're wonderful people. They're extremely smart. They all handpicked, and they all self-taught.
Tell me one thing. What are the major criteria based on which you are, let's say, hiring or choosing the game developers or like artists? And like, is it, for example, let's say that the person will be like with the strongest skills that you are requiring, but let's say not the most pleasant personality. Would you still work with that person? Or, for example, it's
Probably.
easier for you pick someone that you can manage based on their personality, and the rest I'll help them.
Yeah, exactly. Usually, I do count like the skill set that
Yes.
a guy has,
Yes.
a person has, but that's not the most important thing in my company.
Being a team player is
Being
the
a team
most
player,
important
yeah,
one.
being creative. You
Being
need to
creative.
be creative to actually.
To have a passion for
Yeah,
it, right?
yeah.
If you have a passion, the rest will all fall
We
on top
as
of each other.
exactly.
Too.
We
Yeah.
as game developers have this thing that we start a project and shortly after, we transform it into a passion project. Yeah, always, always. You can't have to be in this business without being passionate about it.
Do you have any game that you have developed that's available, for example, on a Google Play or on App Store, or like available for anyone to? Maybe we can, encourage our audience.
In this format, like the current team,
Yes.
no, we don't.
You still don't have?
No.
Are
But
you planning to?
Yeah, we are. We're actually developing a small prototype here at Teachmecode.ae. We're doing like a quiz game for kids from 8 years to 14 years.
All right.
So they can start learning.
When is it going to be released?
Probably tomorrow.
How long it took you to get it done?
About 3 days.
3 days.
Yeah.
How complex, or like how long is the game? Like, is it something small, or it's actually like a proper project? It's just based on your skills and the speed of work you guys completed it fast.
We tend to do things very fast, but I say that in 3 days we managed to create a prototype and a game like pretty polished.
It's pretty polished.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you? Is it the first time you create something for kids?
Yeah, unfortunately, yes, it is. I consider that sometimes these little projects are better suited for people that understand kids more better than me. I tend to direct myself and my attention to more complex projects.
Well, Razvan, I will do one thing from my side. I really promise you, okay? And for anyone who doesn't know, we're starting the boot camp for kids, which is going to like we're gonna launch it from 1st of June. And that's exactly where we're going to use the game that you and your team have developed. Since it's the first time for us to have kids at Teach Me Code, and it's the first time for you to develop something specifically for kids, targeting them, I think it's worth the shot if we will share the feedbacks with you.
That's awesome.
I will make sure that we check how the kids are basically enjoying playing it, and maybe we will get the feedbacks from them. And who knows, maybe knowing that a part of Teach Me Code team has developed something from them from the scratch will encourage these young fellows to, acquire these skills in the future to become game developers. I'll tell you one thing, my daughter's biggest dream to be a game developer.
Really?
The biggest dream. She keeps on begging me like, Mom, please, I want to develop something like Roblox. So who knows, maybe we will open a game development class and you will be one of our honored instructors who might come and do like a project-based thing.
My opinion is that kids have the most creativity in them.
They are.
It's only hidden in you as a parent, and us as game developers need to bring that out somehow.
You're right. It all comes also from the way you raise a kid. You have to give them a freedom to make mistakes, to learn from these mistakes, to make more mistakes if needed. At the end of the day, how can you really succeed at something or become very good at something if you've never made a mistake? You have nothing to learn from.
You do learn from mistakes.
Right.
Yeah.
Razvan, I loved our chat, and I don't want to ask you more questions because I want to have you more in the studio and I want to have more episodes with you. Thank you so much for accepting the invitation.
Thank you for having me.
You are great. You're extremely creative, and I wish you all the best. Like, I really want in the next 5-10 years, Google your name and you're someone big with your own creative studio, and you did release so many games that everyone enjoys. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna tag this episode, and I'll say I had this guy sitting in front of me, and we had a nice conversation.
Thank you for your wishes.
From behalf of TMC, I want to give you this welcome kit. Basically, this is something, as you can see, our school is fully equipped and we don't need students to come. We don't even need you to bring a pen, everything is from us. But nevertheless, to keep some warm memories about it, this is the small compliment with some geeky things inside. So maybe you will find it useful as well.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. And there is one. Wishing you all the best. I'm not saying goodbye, so see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ziva.